Hey, you guys. I hope everybody is protecting their energy and protecting their space and their peace. I know I haven't uploaded a video in about 3 weeks now. And it's so crazy because within those 3 weeks, even before those 3 weeks, like I was going through this 33-day challenge, energy challenge, thing or whatever. And when I first started it, I'm like, okay, this is something new. This is something different in my life. Um, and I was all for it through the whole thing. But you know how when you're trying to change and you're trying to do better within your life, within yourself, you see like small, like little tiny nicks that try to hit you. And the devil was like really trying to work on me to take my focus off the assignments we have to do, like she said, just like incorporating these little things into our daily life. And it's so crazy because I'm like, okay, um I'm never scared of change. I'm always accept change in my life. But like at first, like I'm like, okay, where is this going to go? Like, am I really going to finish this? Am I really going to allow myself to finish this? And I did, because today was the end of the challenge. And this morning I found myself like very overwhelmed because I'm a very an emotional person. I've been like that since I was a kid. Um, but it's crazy because normally my emotions would be like all out of whack, but this morning it was more of so like of I did it. Like I finally accomplished something because I like that I know I could do, and I had faith in myself, something that I never really had before I was going into this whole spiritual journey. And 2022 has been really of life lessons for me. It's been so many things that happened. There've been so many people that walked in and out my life, and God always put people in your life for two reasons. Either there's a reason for them to be there, or they're there for a season. And all of those people was there for a season except for one. And this person had helped me through my journey. And it's so crazy because I can't even give them all the praise and the glory, because I have to give it to God at the end of the day. Like, he's a provider, and he comes through for the ones that he see the best in. And things was looking one way, and it turned out a whole different way. Like, and then like this person has been in my life and in my corner more than what I thought they was going to be. And it's crazy because we're helping each other. Like, this person is further along in their journey than I am, but it's like they're like my mentor. And it's crazy because like this person, like, I put this person through the ringer. You hear me? Like, yeah, there's history and all of that and everything else, but at the end of the day, like, I don't think I would have been able to get through a lot of this without my best friend by my side, because that's exactly what they get. Like my best friend, like. And like, it's so crazy because like, God sent people in your life for a purpose. And I think God was like, well, I'm going to send them back in your life because you're going to need this because of what you're going through and what I'm about to put you through. And I'm a single mom, so I have 5 kids. I have 3 boys and I have 2 girls. So my life is so like, like is topsy turvy, because I'm dealing with myself, and then I'm dealing with my kids' personalities, and like they're getting older, and I'm saying they're going through stuff, and it's just everyday life. And then this energy that's coming into this world, I'm saying it's a different type of energy that's on this planet, and it's in like, and it tends to like try to attach itself to people like they're not aware. And our kids, like, they're not aware because they're kids. Like, they're still trying to experience, they still trying to figure out like what they want, what I'm saying, what they want to do with their life and stuff like that. So like, like, You could be having a peaceful day, and then, you know what I'm saying, everything is going good, and then, you know, the next 5 minutes now your kids upstairs, they're going through something and stuff like that. But it's like, it's nothing that you can't handle. And you know what I'm saying, so like those little spirits seem to try to jump off on our kids when they see that they can't touch us. So that's why we always have to keep our kids protected, and, you know what I'm saying, pray for them. And, you know what I'm saying, you teach them to, you know what I'm saying, how to pray, and, you know what I'm saying, and how to, like, really, like, look and really tell, like, what people really are, and, like, believe that feeling that you feel. Because if you think about it, we used to get in trouble a lot when we was a kids, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, like, always, like, having that curious mind. Like, you know, our moms used to be like, well, what happens in this house stays in this house. And to me, that's not what I teach my kids. Because at the end of the day, if it's something going on in a household and you feel like you can't trust nobody in a household and it's not safe there, if you know what I'm saying, if you at school, and, you know what I'm saying, if you're around another family member and you can really trust them and you feel comfortable telling them that, you know what I'm saying, it's some problems at home, do that. Because at the end of the day, you shouldn't have to suffer because of the lack of a mother or a father or a guardian not wanting that light to be shed on what's happening in that house. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, like, that's where all these broken people come from. It's because of that, because we was always taught to be a certain way and not to tell what's going on in our household. But sometimes you need to tell what's going on in the household so things can change, so you can finally grow, and, you know what I'm saying, grow and fulfill that niche that's empty inside of you. Like, I never want my kids to have to endure anything that I've been through, because, like, my 32 years on this earth, like, I've been through a lot. And, you know, like, I'm a strong person. And, you know, like, I just thank God that I was always strong within myself to overcome a lot of things. Because, you know what I'm saying, like, I didn't have a perfect life, but I didn't have a bad life. But I will, you know, like, and I want different for my kids, because, like, the last couple of years, like, my kids seen chaos, and I don't want them to think that that's how life's supposed to be, because it's not. You know, like, you're more than your environment. You're more than what, you know, society say you are. And that's why I pour into my babies and I pour into my kids, because they're the closest thing to me, and I love them, like, to the moon and back. Like, forget the moon, I love them, like, for eternity. Like, they're my heart, they're my soul. Like, I breathe my kids, and I'm the only active parent in my kids' life, and they have, like, a male role model that's in their life and stuff like that. And, you know, they have my mom, they have my dad, they have my sisters and my brothers and stuff like that. And, you know, like, their father, like, they talk to their dads on the phone. Two of my baby dads stay out of town, one stay in the same city that we stay in. And, you know what I'm saying, so I kind of feel bad because of the two fathers that stay out of town. Like, my kids can't really get the best of them because they're out of town. So, you know, you seem to see your kids down and stuff like that. So I always try to speak life into my kids and make sure the people that's around in my energy, I control all of that, because I want my kids to be around nothing but the best, because that's what they are. They're the best things that happens to me, and I'm gonna make sure they have the best. And what I'm doing right now in my life is the best thing for all of us, not just me, but for my kids too, because me changing me, they see that, and they see it now. Like, I'm getting a little bit emotional because, like, I really haven't talked about this. You know, I talk about it with my best friend all the time and stuff like that, but to really sit in it, shit. Oh, I don't want to get down. But it's like, it's a beautiful thing to see your kids see you happy, because for a lot of years, like, that wasn't what it was in my household. It wasn't really happy times. Hold on, let me sit up, because I'm laying down. It wasn't really like that many happy times or whatever, because, you know, like, but, like, it's like now, like, I got them praying, and, Like they say they before they go to bed every night they say a prayer. I got them journaling in their journeys, in their journals, like all of this stuff, like because like I had to change, like I had to, like it was coming to a point where it was either change or fail, and I'm not failing at nothing in my life because I am a strong woman. Like I've been through a lot. I've been homeless. I've been jobless, foodless. Like there's a period of time where I like really like lost myself, but nobody seen that because like I know how to cover that up. And it's sad to say because a lot of us do this, but that's what I was taught because I was taught by a single mother. And my mom, she was a real, real strong woman. Like she took care of three girls. And it still made things look so easy. But me being me, like I was always close to my mom. I was always there. So I seen the little points that my older sister didn't see, and I see the points that my younger sister didn't see because I'm the middle child. And I'm a mama's girl and I'm a daddy's girl. And I don't think one outweighs the other because like it's on a level like with both of my parents. I love them to the fullest, like even for the negative things, for the positive things, even for the things that they never shown me. I know that they wish they would have showed me that, but they didn't know how to show me that. So I never feel bad about I'm saying, the things that I didn't learn in life, because at the end of the day I was going to teach myself, and I taught myself a lot of things. Like people just think because like, oh, you're a pretty girl, you have a big butt, you have a nice body, and then I get, what I'm saying, and then sometimes I get the backlash, oh, you got 5 kids, 3 baby daddies. That don't dictate who I am, because I'm still gonna be this strong empress. I'm still gonna be a goddess, because that's what I am. That's the light I walk in. Like I'm very powerful. And it's so crazy because like since I was a child, I was always I was always different. I was always basically like the black sheep of the family. Like I was always the homebody. I was always at home with my mom. That's how I learned how to cook. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff, what I'm saying, like that I wouldn't have learned how to do if I was probably like in a different situation. So like I don't take nothing for granted, especially now that I'm on this journey, because it's built me into this person. Like I was so closed off. Like I only wanted people to know what I wanted them to know. Just like even with my best friend, I've been knowing him since I was 16. Like, and I'm 15 basically. And it's like it's so crazy because like it's so many things that's coming to light, even with us too. Like, cause we never knew each other like we know each other now, and it's so crazy because like I didn't want a lot of the things that he know now. I didn't want him to know, because I was like, oh, well, maybe if I tell him this, then they'll feel this way about me. At the end of the day, you gotta walk with a clean slate. You gotta walk with your head held high, because a person that's going to be for you, they're going to accept every inch, every single part of you, every flaw, everything about you, because they want you to change. They see the best in you. They see things in you that you don't even see in yourself. And that's that's very true. Like we get so caught up in the daily life that when somebody give us a compliment or tell us something, we be like, oh no. Like even like the most sweetest things, like you would think that I got the chance to experience a lot in my life. I mean, I did, but not at the depth that it's going now. Like I was never used to a man telling me how smart I was, how pretty I was, without wanting something in return, and how smart I was, how pretty I was, and like how much, like how vibrant I was, like, and how they can just see me as this empress and put me on this pedestal. And to now, like I was never used to that. So when he used to tell me this stuff, I used to like inside, I'd be like, no, he don't see that. He don't see that. He don't see that. Because I didn't see it. And it's crazy because like I can say that now without even getting emotional. Like it's to the point where nothing like nothing triggers me. Like And that's how it gotta be in life, especially walking in on your spiritual journey. Oh, you're gonna have naysayers, honey. You're gonna have people attacking you because you're being exactly what they can't be. They can't be themselves. So when they see people being themselves, they can't take that. They don't know how to bottle that, so they try to pick at you. It's just like when we was in school, how the bullies. I used to get bullied a lot because I was always closed off. I was always like, I really didn't say too much because I always been about how I feel. Like, okay, I could walk in the room or whatever, and I really won't make too much confrontation because I don't know. Like, I always go off vibes and energy. Like if I feel like, okay, well, they're cool, like, like, I feel that. And it's crazy because even when I was a kid, like, I always thought I was weird because, like, I always like been like attracted to like wizards and stuff like that, like magic, and like I was always like wanted to know like tarot readings and stuff like that. So I used to watch a lot of movies that was like that, and like, so I used to always like feel like I was weird. And what I'm saying, like, I was never weird. I always had an interest in mine because that's how I am now. Like, I'm just very different, and there's nothing wrong with that. And when I was a kid, I thought it was something wrong with that. So that's why I used to always like nitpick at myself before somebody else can. And that's not right. That's not how, what I'm saying, life is supposed to be. And it's so crazy because even back then, nobody knew how I was feeling. Like, nobody knew what I was battling with or whatever because I didn't really say too much. And it's like now, like, that I'm older, like, I'm like, oh my God, being on this journey, the shadow work, honey, that's the part that's going to really have you like, no, I'm about to run. I don't want to do this. I don't want to confess to that. I don't want to accept that. But you have to, because your inner you, that's the most beautiful part of yourself. Everybody think it's the outer. No, that comes later. It's what's in here, because if you're broken in here, you're gonna be broken out here. You could put a front on out here, but they gonna see right through as soon as you open your mouth. Soon somebody asks you a question that you've been so hesitant to work on. Like, soon somebody asks you, okay, like, what do you see yourself? Like where, like, what you want to do with your life? Like, like, you open up your mouth, they're going to eventually, especially like a very strong spiritual person that really is really big on energy, they can feel every single freaking thing. So they know when you're not being real. This is how I knew when my best friend was like nothing to be played with. It's a situation where I was hanging out with a young lady that I wasn't supposed to be hanging out with. Not because, like, it wasn't a friendship that it's not a person that I should have been really hanging out with, because like, it wasn't me. And this is how I knew that he was nothing to be played with. So I'm hanging out with her. I had already told him that I wasn't hanging out with her no more, and I really wasn't. But this is how unaware I was. So we sit here hanging out. We wasn't hanging out for a minute, and she ended up calling, and she came over and we was talking in the car. You know what I'm saying? We was going places. We was doing stuff. And then one day, I wanted, my ego got the best of me. And I'm not going to lie. My ego got the best of me. And what happens in the dark comes to the light. So it was about like 3 weeks. I was just hanging out with this girl knowing I shouldn't have been hanging out with her because of the experience that me and her had. That should have been that should have been the cutoff point after that experience happened. But me being me, it's like I always try to see the best in people. And you know what I'm saying? And like, that's where I used to mess myself up at. So just hanging around. And I lied to him and told him that I was with my cousin and things like that. So like, What happens in the dark always comes to the light, and that's exactly what happened. And he knew the whole time that that wasn't that. It wasn't that. He knew exactly what I was doing. He knew exactly who I was with. And one day we went to the club. We was drinking and stuff like that. We went to the club, and I was supposed to go see him that night. I did, but I ended up stopping to go to the club to have a couple of drinks or whatever, and it's like to enjoy myself before I go over there or whatever. So instead of me texting him telling him that I stopped somewhere, I just went, just hoping that he was gonna be up. Ego getting the best of me. So we in the club, we just you know what I'm saying, just having fun, just vibing or whatever. We get to the club, it's like around like 11. I text him like at around like 10 and told him I was on my way. And he's a very patient person, but he not gonna let you play with him at all whatsoever. It don't matter who you are. You could be the finest thing walking up. But we just having fun, you know what I'm saying, like 1 o'clock came and we leaving the club, and instead of me texting telling him, oh, well, I stopped somewhere, I'm gonna have a couple of drinks and then I'll be on the way, I didn't do that. But that thought went past my head. It was like, Kendra, why don't you text him and tell him that you're gonna be a little late because you at the club and you drinking. I didn't do that because it always go with your yeah, my door, my kids, crazy. Always go with with that gut feeling, because it never lies. Like, your intuition never lies. It doesn't matter what type of situation you are in. It's going to always guide you in the right way. And it's crazy because that went through my head, and it was in my head, and I was getting ready to do that. But my drink came in front of me, and I started drinking, and I pushed my phone to the side a little bit, and I went against my gut instinct. And anytime you go against your gut instinct, you're gonna have hell to pay, because you never go, like, you never push that off. And I know I wasn't supposed to be in that position anyways, even being with her, like, like, it was like God put people in your life for a certain reason. So I had her drop me off at his house, which was up the street from the bar. And he's very intuitive. So he, like, his like, he know. So boom, a couple of weeks go by, and I still didn't tell him the truth. And it's so crazy because, like, I wanted to so bad. I'm like, okay, well, I don't ever want to put this man in a situation where he had to second guess me, because that's not what I am. Like, I cherish, like, our friendship, and I cherish every moment we have. Like, I put this person on a pedestal where I put myself and my kids at, and that's a high pedestal, and I don't put nobody up there, because my kids come before anything and everything. So my intuition, like, if you really love this man, why don't you just tell this man what's really going on and what's really what? Because you don't want him to have to find out on his own, because if you find out on his own, then you have to suffer the consequences or whatever. And it's so crazy because that same day he found out everything, I was going to tell him, but I was like, no. It was like the old me trying to pull that from coming out. But the truth always prevailed. So it was a Saturday. He went to the store. My friend, well, my old acquaintance, she pulled up. And what really made him know that was hers, because it's a black SUV and her license plate's 1212. That's what he seen that night that she dropped me off at his house. Because even that night didn't go right. Like, that night didn't go right, because he was like, I was this different person. He never seen me like that. So that night, it was just like it didn't go, because I let my intent, like, I let my ego get the best of me. It almost messed up the whole situation. And he never seen me like that. So he even knew that my energy was off, because I was around an off person. That's why I said, when you're dealing with a spiritual person and you're walking on that journey too, You have to be full. You have to be whole. You have to really want these changes. You have to really want to become a better person, because if you doing all those leaks, is going to come out. It's like putting duct tape over over a whole gallon of busted milk. You're still going to have leaks. It don't matter how much duct tape you put on that bottle. You're still going to have leaks. Even if it might not come out right then and there, it's going to come out when the time is right. So back to the day that everything came out. He's at the store. She pull up at the store, and on his way walking out the store, he seen her license plate number, and he put two and two together. That's who she been with. So she's been lying. She have not been with her cousin. He gets home. He calls me, and I hear it in his voice. When you have a connection with somebody, and you have a bond with somebody, you can hear it in their voice. You can feel it in their spirit when they're present around you, even when they're away. Like we connect telepathically. Like, that's how strong it is. That's how strong our connection and our bond is. So when he got home, he called me, and I heard it in his voice. His voice was firm, and his voice will never be firm unless he knows something that you're not telling him. So he get home, he called me, and he was like, Kendra, who you been around? The old me was about to lie through my teeth until he stopped me. Like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And the way my body felt in that instant, in that moment, I don't ever want nobody to feel, I don't ever want to feel that coming from him. So everything's got to pouring out, everything's got to falling out, everything's got to coming out, flowing like water, like it was supposed to be. So I say this to say to you, don't ever play yourself. Don't ever sell yourself short just for a little dibble and dabble in pleasure, or whatever you want to call it. Because at the end of the day, when you walk in this spiritual journey, any journey, you have to be head on. Every part of you has to be open to this challenge. Every part of you have to be open to this change. And if it's not, like I said, the least is going to show. It's going to show where you're lacking at. It's going to show where your awareness not at. It's going to show where you ain't communicating, where you ain't comprehending that. It's going to show everything. That's why if you want something, and you really full-heartedly wanted this, and you really want to change, and you really want to make a difference, because you really want to change your life within your inner you, so the outer you can be just as vibrant as the inner you. You have to really be there for the change. You have to be willing to cut all of these people off that you don't want to cut off. Because honey, when I say there's not a soul in my circle, I don't even have a circle. I have a dot. And I am absolutely okay with that. At first I wasn't, because I was like, well, I need people. No, you don't, because you got everything you need right here in within yourself. And if you have kids, there you go, because you have God, you have whoever you pray to at night. You don't need nobody. You don't need nobody that's around you that's going to add fuel to the flame. You don't need that. You need somebody that's going to ease that pain, that's going to ease you, that's going to talk to you with a straight head, that's going to tell you constructive criticism even when you don't want to hear it. It's so many times that he was telling me stuff that these readers was telling me stuff, and I was telling myself stuff, and I knew stuff that I didn't want to come to realization with, but I had to, because I had to change. I want to change for the better of me and my babies, because I know I am going to change the world. I'm going to touch so many souls, and I just get so emotional talking about that, because I know there's a power inside of me. There's a spark inside of me, honey, and when I say that spark just got sparked, That plug just got sparked at the beginning of this year because I know what my life is, and I know what my purpose is, and I know what my journey is going to be, and it's going to be filled with nothing but bliss and abundance in it, and it's going to be very fruitful. So I say this to say, always be true to yourself, always be true for the